Hello and welcome back to the fourth slice of Pizza and Picks. Today we have a very special guest, our first guest. We're going to save all our famous guests until we were famous, but we're skipping that whole part. I'm honored to welcome in not only my cat Gila, but Jamie Stewart joining us from Phoenix, Arizona, the collegiate and international player, a basketball trainer, a new real estate agent, and most importantly, the third best 2K player on this podcast. Jamie, how are you?
I'm good, man. How you guys doing?
Doing good, man. It's good to see you. And just like the old days in Bozeman, us three together. So
For sure, man. I miss those days. Those are some of the best days.
The gang is reunited.
For sure. I haven't seen Tyler in forever.
Today we're going to do reconnecting. That's the best part about this. I need some NBA insight, but I'm just glad to see him, man.
100%.
All right, so today we're going to do a fun format. We're going to see where all of our interests lie in the NBA season coming up here this Tuesday, right? Is it Tuesday or Wednesday, the 22nd?
Tuesday. Yeah, so we're recording on the Thursday, the 18th right now, so a couple days before.
That's right. So we're gonna do a draft of the 5 most interesting teams this season, at least to us, the most interesting teams. We're gonna do a snake draft. You've probably seen a lot of podcasts do this type of format, and we're gonna give our guest Jamie the first pick of what team he is most interested in this season. So it's not the best team, maybe, but the team that's had the most interesting offseason or the lowest or highest expectations this season, wherever you want to go with it. So, Jamie, take it away.
The most interesting team. I mean, let's just go with Phoenix. Let's go with Phoenix, man. That's just because right now it's home. So let's go with the Phoenix Suns.
All right. What do you like? What do you like about their new team?
I think the best thing about the new team is obviously they just added, a Hall of Famer player. A great point guard, a good leader, a guy that has tons of experience, and also not only Chris Paul, but also like Jay Crowder. So I think they got a lot of new additions to the team. I think it's, ready to compete. So for a playoff spot. So I like it.
Before we move on from the Suns, can you clear something up? Because me and Coulter were having this argument. Coulter says Jay Crowder is going to have a bigger impact than Chris Paul, and that's crazy. And I'm in the Chris Paul fan club, and he is not. So,
man, I can't clear that up. That's not like a fact. I don't know. I don't know. I think they both will add pretty much good, like significant value to the team. I think they both bring a little bit of different pieces to it. So I think they're both going to be really good. So I can't really say who's going to be better. I hope they're both good for our sake. So
they definitely both add amazing upside on defense and offense. And
yeah,
I think Jay Crowder will help Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges a ton this season as far as experience and stuff like that.
100%. Yeah.
All right, Tyler, where you want to go?
Oh yeah, I got the second. All right, I have to go with the Nets for my pick. I'm afraid they were going to be taken. There's some other teams I'm interested in, but I think these guys might have gotten taken by one of you two. So I'm going to go with the Nets. The obvious addition is Kevin Durant coming back from the injury. He's looked great in the preseason. Started off his first preseason game with a dunk very quickly. He's building some. Yeah. No, I think he's going to return to 90. I hate how people are trying to put numbers on what he'll return to. Is it 90%? Is it 80%? I think he'll return to the KD we saw. So I'm not going to put a percent number on it, but his injury is a bad one, but he's still young enough, and he's one of these elite players that I think he can return to it, even if he doesn't have the athleticism he used to have. Dominique Wilkins had the same injury when he was about 32. Gosh, I should know KD's page. I just posted a blog on our page if you want to check it out, detailing it a little bit more. But I think he'll return to his top 5 player status. I don't know if he'll ever get back to number 1 again or number 2. Sorry, LeBron. He had a good team that year with the Warriors. But I think KD, Kyrie, and the supporting cast will be great for Steve Nash to mold. I'm worried about their defense. I think they have great Vegas odds. So I wouldn't mind putting a bet on them to win the finals if that defense can hold up. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the Nets can do this season.
Yeah, they got crazy depth. I mean, if Dinwiddie and Joe are coming off the bench and stuff like that, that's crazy that you have that type of scoring in your second unit. They should be fun to watch.
Yeah, man, they have a ton of pieces over there for sure.
All right, I'm number 3.
You got 3 and 4. So you
3 and 4.
some
Okay.
strategy because you're not going to have another pick for a while. So you better get
Okay.
what you want now.
Well, I'll take my first pick and go with my team, the Bucks.
The Bucks.
Good news, they just got Giannis for 5 more. That made me a little relieved. I think Drew Holiday was a good upgrade with Eric Bledsoe, but they gave up a lot of picks for him, so we'll see what happens down the road. I think their bench got worse, but offensively, I think they got better. I think they are more fitting for a playoff run now, and we'll just have to see where DiVincenzo and DJ Wilson, if they can take a step forward, whether or not this team is going to make a deep run. I think.
Right. Yeah, man. Do you want to know what I think about it, or?
Yeah. What are your?
I like the Bucks. I don't necessarily love the Bucks. I don't, the Bucks to me are one of those teams that are probably just going to consistently just be good always. But I don't actually know if they're going to get over the hump. You know what I mean? I don't know if they're going to always make the playoffs. They're going to always win a lot of games. I just don't know if they're ever going to win a championship.
Yeah, I'm even having a tough time picking them as the favorite to get out of the East. In all honesty, I think Bud gets good seasons out of his teams, but he never really does anything in the playoffs. So I don't know. Their bench scares me a little bit, and as far as depth goes, if someone gets injured on that starting lineup, their season could go downhill really fast.
Yeah, I agree on that 100% for sure.
Jamie, I'm curious. What do you think about the Drew Holiday addition? I don't know how he's going to work in on the offensive end. Obviously, the Bucks were a good team on defense last year, but how do you think he's going to fit into the team on either side of the floor?
I think so. You talk about Drew. You're talking about a guy that's really good, right? You're talking about a two-way, one of your better two-way players in the league. I think he's a phenomenal talent. I think they upgraded. I mean, he's a little bit taller than Drew. To Eric Bledsoe. I think, like I said, he's about 6'4", 6'3" He's really good on defense. He's really good on offense. He's really consistent. He's a professional player. So I think that he fits in great with them. To be honest, I mean, I think he does everything that Eric Bledsoe did, plus maybe a little bit more.
Definitely a better 3-point shooter.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, I think it works out for them. Like I said, I just don't know how far they go with that team. But I think they're a really good team. I love Drew Holiday. I think, like I said, he's one of the best two-way guards in the NBA. So.
And on that note, I'm going to stay with my 4th pick on another team in the East, the defending Eastern Conference champs, the Heat. They didn't do much. They re-signed Dragic and they got Mo Harkless and Avery Bradley. They did lose Jay Crowder, which I think hurts, but I think Harkless and Bradley can make up some of that perimeter. But I think if Hero and Bam can play as good as they did in the bubble, I think this team's going to be a top seed in the East, and I think they match up well versus the top teams. They destroyed the Bucks. They're a matchup nightmare for them, but I think that even versus the Nets and possibly the Celtics. I think they match up pretty well versus them.
Right. Yeah. Tyler, you want to go first on this one, or you want me to chime in first?
I'm down on the Heat. I don't know. I think they're a good playoff team. I think they'll have another rough, not a rough season, but I don't think they're going to be a top 3 team in the East in the regular season. In the playoffs, I think Spoelstra can use those defensive weapons to attack all the teams like he did last year. I just don't see them doing anything in the regular season. So I'm a little down on them now. Ask me again when the playoffs start. But I don't know. You like them?
I love the Heat, actually. I think the Heat is a really good, well-ran organization. I think on the court and off the court, just from like the outside looking in, I think they have that leader in Jimmy Butler. I think they have that player, that two-way player, that dog mentality player, tough player, knows what it takes. But then also like the pieces around it too. You got Bam. Like Bam, I think is phenomenal. I think he's really, really, really good. And I think he's only gonna get better. I think he's more modern to like what the NBA is going towards. You know what I mean? Like that type of big that can pretty much do it all. I think he's just gonna improve his shooting even more. So I think that's gonna make them a little bit better. And then they got young Tyler Hero over there, which is one of my favorite players in the league. And I think he's gonna only get better as well. So they have him. I like Duncan Robinson, catch and shoot guy. He's going to get better as well. And, Gorn. So I just like their team. I like their team in the East. I think they have what it takes. And I don't know as far as like how far they get in the playoffs, but I know for a fact they will get in the playoffs. So they make a pretty deep run.
Jamie, I got to ask you, who's your favorite Tyler? Is it me or Tyler Hero? Come on, man. Don't let me down here.
Man, that's tough. That's tough, man, because both of you guys are my friends, man, and that's really tough. So I can't say on this one, bro. I can't say.
All right. I'll take the tie. I'll take the tie.
Take the draw.
You can be a politician, though. He's avoiding questions left and right. He's a politician.
Man, I don't think it'd be fair to either guy, man. But let's just say I love both Tylers.
Wow. Okay. With that, I'm gonna take my next one. I'm gonna quit one while I'm ahead here. Okay, so I kind of risked them not getting back around to me last time, so I got to take them this time. I got to go with the Blazers. I'm most forward looking to see, even more than the Nets, even though I didn't pick them first. I think the Blazers have both the biggest difference between their ceiling and their floor, right? So I think the Blazers could win it all. I know that's crazy. I think they're a trade away from being in real contention, but I think they have the pieces to make the trade. And I also think they could, if they lose Dame, I think they could miss the playoffs entirely, or at least miss the top 8 spots. I think they could slide all the way down to the 10. So I think the Blazers have a lot of boom or bust potential. We obviously have Dame and CJ filling out maybe the best backcourt in the NBA. And then there are additions of Covington's looked great in the preseason. Derek Jones Jr. has fit in perfectly as that 3-and-D guy the Blazers have always needed. Nurkic is back and healthy. And then they have Zach Collins still hurt, but they could trade him. They've been trying for a while for that Bradley Beal trade. I don't know if they get it done. I think the Wizards like what they have, but if the Blazers could package Zach Collins, Gary Trent Jr., and maybe some picks or Anthony Simons if he turns out, although they'll probably want a little bit of depth. I think the Blazers could make a move this season during the trade deadline, watch them to pick up somebody, and then be a series contender. I like the Blazers a lot.
Man, the Blazers are in the West. I don't know. I'm kind of like in the middle. I don't know if I really like or dislike. I wouldn't say dislike, but I don't know. I like their team. I just don't think that they're gonna do much. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think they're gonna go back to the Western Conference Finals like they did a few years ago. You know what I mean? And I don't think they're gonna win an NBA championship no time soon. But That's just my opinion. I like their pieces. I mean, Dame is shit, like one of the best point guards in the league. CJ McCollum is really good guard as well. Melo, obviously, he's a future Hall of Famer. So I don't know. I guess we just have to see.
I think having Nurkic for an entire season will be a big thing too.
Nurkic.
I think if he can be healthy, they those three in the playoffs and in the bubble last year were fun to watch.
Yeah, I forgot about Nurkic. Nurkic is really good. He's a banger down there.
All right, take it away, Coulter.
Nope.
Oh, Jamie.
Yeah, it's on me. So
Jamie's number 6.
it's my pick, man, and I will probably just go with the Clippers. I like the Clippers. I'm just more intrigued or interested to see how they respond this year and what they do. I know they were kind of favorites last year to make a run. Everybody was thinking who was going to win it, the Clippers or the Lakers, who was the better team, and obviously we kind of found that out. But I want to see what they do. I think Kawhi and Paul George. I want to see how they play together for like a full entire season. More games. I mean, last year there was a lot going on. A lot of those guys wasn't even on the floor together majority of the time. I want to see what Lou Williams does, and see how Serge Ibaka is, with that new addition on the team, and just see where they go. But I like the Clippers. I think they have a legitimate shot, obviously, of winning the finals for sure.
Do you think they match up better with Ibaka versus Harrell?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I think losing Montrez was like a huge, a loss for them. I don't think it helped them, or obviously I don't think it helped them at all. But I think adding Ibaka kind of, help it a little bit, ease it a little bit, worsen the pain a little bit. But I don't think they got better or anything like that. They definitely took a step back in that regard as far as losing Montrez. But Serge is a guy that can come in and knock down some threes. He's still going to, be a defensive player. He's a veteran. He's a leader. So I still think he's able to add a lot of value to that team. So, which is maybe what they need. They might need a vocal guy. They might need a guy that can come in and, other than Pat Beverly, do some of that stuff. So who knows?
I think Ibaka could match up a little bit better with someone like Jokic or Anthony Davis than Montrez.
Yeah, like just being bigger.
In the playoffs.
I got to ask Jamie before we move on to the next team. My biggest, I think the Clippers could be the scariest defensive team I've ever seen, honestly, and I saw flashes of it last season. But you're a point guard, Jamie. What are they doing? I mean, can Patrick Beverly be your point guard? I mean, who's going to run the show for the Clippers? That's what worried me the most last season, and it did hurt them. They got on these long streaks of not being able to score, and I think that's because they didn't have a point guard. What do you think Ty Lue is going to do to change that this season?
Yeah, man, I don't know. I'm not – obviously I don't know, what his strategy is in doing that or anything like that. But do I think that Pat Beverly can still be that point guard? Absolutely. I think he can be that guy. I think they just probably initiate or run their offense a little bit different, But they have – arguably 2 of the top 5 defending wings in the NBA, on that team. And then obviously they have a bona fide superstar and a star and things like that. And so I think they could definitely, exist without Pat Beverly, I think is really, I think he's a good player. So I think they can definitely make it really far without having that bona fide point guard that, that does it all on the court, like that. And I think they can do pretty well this season. So I'm not too concerned about that, that role, I guess.
Fair enough. All right, who you got for your next pick? Don't be taking my team now. I got a team locked up, and you'll never see it coming. So don't be picking them.
Your team. I think I might take it out east a little bit. Another hometown team, not saying that they're going to make the playoffs or anything like that. Well, are they supposed to make the playoffs?
It can be whoever you want.
Yeah.
I think I'm more interested. I think I'm more intrigued. Like,
Yeah.
I think I'm more intrigued by just the Detroit Pistons.
Oh, I knew it.
All right.
I'm just, well, I said hometown, but I'm just trying to figure out, what they're trying to do over there. You know what I mean? I think some, they made a lot of moves that that just kind of, what's that?
Or questionable?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't even say questionable. But I was just trying to figure out some of the moves. I mean, they got a lot of centers over there. You know what I mean? I like Grant a lot. And I think they're playing him at like the 3 over there now or something like that, or trying to play him at the 3. They picked up the Plumlee and still obviously still have Blake, but then I wouldn't say but then they Christian Woods left, which was was a huge blow for them, just because I think he was going to be really good. I think he was good for them last year, and I think he's only going to get better. So the point guard situation, I know they just drafted Hayes. So I'm just trying to figure out, I'm interested to see how they play this year, how they all coexist together, and then what's the plan for them. Or they just kind of accepting the fact that they're kind of, not going to be good, or I don't know what the case may be, but we'll see. But they did just add my boy Josh Jackson, so that's good. That's good. I'm glad he's at home and he has the opportunity to shine over there. So hopefully he plays well.
You like that pick, Coulter? I think we both saw it coming when he said it.
I would have been surprised if we didn't talk about the Pistons with Jamie on here. But, I don't know. I watched their first game, and I think Jeremy Grant went 1 for 12 or something like that. And I think he's and if he's going to be your number one option, I don't know how many games you're going to win. But I still think Blake has some
yeah, for sure,
playing days left and stuff like that. And obviously Derrick Rose is still there. But
D Rose,
I don't know. They made
he had a great year last year. Comeback type year.
And I think having him there to help Killian Hayes, I think will be a big thing. They got a lot of good. I think their rookies are good, and they have a lot of young pieces along with the vets there.
Right. Yeah.
I mentioned the Blazers trade earlier for Bradley Beal. The second option, I think this helps both clubs a lot. I think you trade Zach Collins and Gary Trent and then some kind of contract filler for Blake Griffin. I think that helps both teams. I think the Pistons want to get younger. I think they have a lot of potential with their young pieces. I like Jeremy Grant. I don't think Blake fits in there. I think Grant eventually moves to the 4. I think they just have him at the 3 because they have Blake there. They don't know what to do with him. I like that trade a lot. I don't know. I haven't heard that from anybody, but I like that trade a lot, and I like to just throw things out there too.
Yeah, I think Grant is a natural 4. That's when I hear Grant, I think 4. But able to play on the perimeter a little bit, and to have him at the 3 full time is kind of, well, not even full time, but just to have him at the 3, I think I don't know. I don't really love that move, but he does have some capabilities for sure. I mean, but I don't see how that's gonna. I don't think how that's gonna work out for him, just being on the perimeter and having to catch and shoot from the 3 and initiate his own offense and stuff like that. I just don't necessarily love that move, but he's a really good player though. I wish he was in Phoenix.
All right. So you didn't take my team. Thank you. I'm not from Michigan, so I don't think I was going to pick them. I'm going to take my Duke team. I'm going to take the Pelicans with my 3rd pick.
Hey, that's a really good pick. That's a really interesting team.
But yeah, they have one of my favorite players. Actually, Chris Paul is my favorite player, but one of my favorite players, JJ Redick. Got to watch it.
I was going to say JJ.
Oh, boy, JJ, you know how I like JJ. You got to listen to his most recent podcast with JJ and Chris Paul. They talk about Willie Green too, and that reminded me of you, Jamie. But anyways, I like the Pelicans a lot because of the boom or bust potential. Same with the Blazers. We just did our 2K simulation the other day. We did 2 runs of it, and the Pelicans got the number 1 seed in the West both seasons, and in the second simulation, they actually won it. So that's kind of a good watch if you guys, any listeners want to go back and listen to that or watch that. But they have so many pieces, and they have like 4 point guards. I don't know what they're going to do there, but they have so many big pieces with Zion, Ingram, Ball, and Steven Adams was a great addition. I mean, you could go down the list with this team. It's just, are they going to be able to put it together? Is there going to be a natural fit? And there's so many teams out in the West that have the bona fide superstars that Zion's going to be there. He's already like the most efficient scorer in the NBA outside of his free throws. He just takes so many smart shots right at the rim. Is he going to be able to be the number one? Is Ingram going to be able to compete with these other ones? To compete with the top teams in the West, with the Clippers, Lakers, with Kawhi, with Doncic, with LeBron? They're going to be really good. I think they might need one more year to be of development to be a serious contender, but that's why I like them, because they have the boomer bust potential. They could make top 4. I could see them, or they could be in the bottom. They could be in the 9th or 10th spot.
Mm-hmm. Coach, this was on you, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think getting Steven Adams was huge to add some depth in the center and help out Zion and Jackson Hayes. I just think they need playing time together. It seems like Zion was hurt and then Lonzo was hurt and stuff like that. So just having them get minutes and stuff like that, I think is huge this season.
I like the Pelicans. I think they have a really good, interesting team over there. I think they're young. I think they're really good. I think they're exciting. I think it just depends on how healthy will Zion be, obviously. How healthy Brandon Ingram will be. He's a really good player as well, developing into like a really good star. And then obviously Steven Adams coming over. That was a huge addition to that team because of, I mean, I love Steven Adams. He's like that big man that like that I would want to play with, or you know, he does everything on the court. He set the screens, he blocks shots, he rebounds, he's tough, like all these different things. He defends, and now he's like has that jump hook and all these different things. So he's a really good player, and I think that helps them a lot. So I'm interested to see how they do. Do I think they're, you know, contenders right now? No. I think a year or two maybe. I think they make some serious noise. Do I ever think they win a championship anytime soon? Who knows? But, you know, I really like that team. But
it's going to be fun to watch regardless.
Super fun to watch.
2K picked them.
Yeah, 2K picked them to win it all. So,
I don't know about all that, but that's a good pick.
So what pick are we on now? 9?
Don't make me count that high, Coulter.
Okay. So I'm going to go with a team interesting because of not their free agency, but current situation is the Boston Celtics. The biggest thing is, so when did Jason Tatum grow 2 inches? I heard that he's 6'10".
I know, 6'10",
crazy.
That's crazy.
That makes him even more deadly. But I think the biggest thing with them is, when is Kemba going to come back? Their depth chart right now, like their guards are super thin. And if Jaylen Brown or Marcus Smart or Jeff Teague even get hurt, you're asking a lot for those bench players and stuff like that to have a lot. But on the other end, I think Tatum could be, you know, on the cusp of in MVP talks potentially this year, and they have all the pieces if they can stay healthy towards the end of the season to make another good playoff run. But yeah, I just think their court depth right now could be interesting through Kemba coming back.
Right. Yep.
They might be one of those teams where they're really good in the regular. They might not be as good in the regular season, but they might be playoff ready.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, love that team. Great team. I think they have all the pieces, obviously, as it's shown, you know, the last couple of seasons. And then obviously with Brad Stevens as their head coach, I know they're going to be always ready to go. So I think they're obviously contenders. I think they, you know, have a really, really good shot to getting out of the East, you know. And so I think that team's really good. That kind of, you know, I think them and Philly, I think, are some of the two teams in the East for me that, like, you know, I could see battling it out in like the conference finals. So, you know, I think Boston's a really good pick. So I think for sure it'd be interesting to see what they do this year.
Coulter, Jamie might have just given away one of his last two teams.
Well, that's who I was gonna talk to Philly, but
I'm not talking about Philly, so
okay, I'll just stick with Philly then. I think they added some good shooters, which they desperately needed, and they got rid of Horford's contract, so they're not just like.
Are you talking about Dwight Howard and Seth Curry?
Yeah, Dwight Howard's going to be their number 1 3. Him and Simmons are going to probably have 25 attempts this year combined. So, but I think Tyrese Maxey is going to be one of the under the radar rookies that ends up getting a lot of playing time because I think he's a bona fide scorer. Those two guards at Kentucky seem to be good, don't they, Jamie?
Kentucky guy.
Yeah, I think adding Danny Green and I think Seth Curry was huge. And then if Simmons and Embiid can stay healthy for the year, that I think with Doc as our coach, they should be really fun to watch.
Yeah, don't forget about Tobias either.
Yeah, Tobias is Tobias. Like he's the poor man's Melo, in my opinion.
I'm Doc Rivers is going to get Tobias back to where he was.
I mean, when he played for the Clippers under Doc Rivers, he was pretty solid. So.
Yeah.
And he's in the perfect position now in the NBA. At the number 4 with the shooters around him, he can play the right amount of time. He's not going to have to He's not going to have to create all these shots like he was last year at the 3. I think he's going to be able to post up a little bit more, and he's going to get a lot more just space and shoot. And I think Ben Simmons running the point is going to be great for Tobias. It's going to be great for the whole team. So I like the pick a lot.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Ty, you're on the clock.
All right, I got 2 picks left, right? Now we got pick 11 here. I'll take the Jazz. I don't think you guys were going to take them, but I kind of want to talk about them. They're just one of those teams with continuation. I
definitely wasn't about to talk about the Jazz, so you don't got to worry about that.
Well, they're just north of Arizona. You could have taken them. They're pretty close.
What was it going to take them?
They're interesting to me. All right, so I don't think they're interesting to everybody, and I want to just educate America here, okay, on the Jazz. I think they're going to be a really good team. I think they have a 5. Their starting 5 can compete with anybody. I like Mitchell and Gobert a lot. I think they buried the hatchet. They're ready to move on. We got to see Mike Conley progress a little bit. The Jazz weren't super young last year, so you're not going to see much growth other than Mitchell. I think you're going to just need a bounce back from Conley. You're going to need some continuation. Bogdanovich has to stay healthy. He's such a big part of the team. They lost. I mean, they did the same thing the Clippers did last season. They blew a 3-1 lead. I mean, having a 3-1 lead on the Nuggets was impressive, and Murray was playing better against the Jazz than he was against the Clippers to win that series. So I know they're not a fan favorite, but I got the shirt on. I like the Jazz a lot. I think they've got the depth. They've been in it a while. If they don't win it this year, if they don't even make the second round, I think it's time to blow that team up, move on, and start from scratch because I'm worried about them if they don't do something this year.
Right. The Jazz, I mean, it's one of those teams where it's just kind of like, just give me that myth feel. Like, it's just like, I don't know, like, they either going to be, you know, I just think of a middle of the road type team. That's what I think of when I know Utah. Like, I'm not like in love with like not one single thing that they do. I mean, Donovan is a star for sure. I just don't think they have a ton around them. I'm not super big on the Gobert like bus You know what I mean? I think he's a good center. I think he's a good center. I think he's a defensive-minded center. But like I said, I just don't love that like team. So I do think Joe Ingles is a good player for sure.
If the D&3 archetype of a player was a team, it would be the Jazz.
Yeah.
That's what you want. All right, fire question real quick. Just no thinking about it. Just give me the number. I think they're going to be the 5 seed. Coulter, what do you think they're going to be at the rate?
I think I have them at the 4.
4. Jamie, what do you think they're going to be?
I mean, I'd say like 7.
They were
All
the
right,
4 seed
all right.
last year.
We'll
So
see, we'll see.
keep it.
So is it on me or
Yeah,
is
they
it
were a sneaky 4.
Yeah.
Jamie's, you got
Jamie,
it.
you're up.
So these are my last 2 picks?
Yep.
All right, so I got to make them
Last
really
2
good.
picks, but you can try.
I got to make them really good, man. This is going to surprise you guys, but this is going to be a really, really good one. Really, really good one. The Atlanta Hawks. All right.
The Pistons? Ooh, the
What's
Hawks.
that? What's that?
Oh, I was asking, are they better than the Pistons?
Oh, for sure. But see, so my picks were weird. Like, I wasn't talking about like playoff teams. I was talking about teams I was interested in the most, right? And like what they're going to do this upcoming year. But do I think that the Atlanta Hawks can make the playoffs in the East? Yes, for sure, 100%. I think adding Gallinari, right, was huge for them. I think Gallinari is a great player. I think he's damn near, he could be. People forget about Gallinari. He was really good with the Clippers. He had some really good moments with the Thunder. Like, so Gallinari is a bona fide scorer. He's a good 4, or you can even play him at the 3. Trae Young is only getting better. Obviously, he's super, super special. Kevin Huter is lights out, man. He's good. Like, that is like one of the guys that, like, Tyler, if you could shoot, you would be him. Like, if you could do any of that stuff, you would be him.
I can shoot.
Like, if you could shoot and dribble, you would be Kevin Huter. Like, that's what you would be, man.
What can I do? Just hold the ball. That's what I do. I just hold. I can't shoot it. I can't dribble. I just hold it.
But he's really good. Then picking up Rondo too, man. Rondo is going to help that team a lot. They already got John Collins, man, who's really good at the 4. Kind of interested to see what Clint Capella does, but I think that team, man, in the East, I think that team is really good. So watch out for the Atlanta Hawks.
Do you think they did too much in free agency? Because now they have their wings. There's just so many wings on that team that like everyone needs playing time. You got Cam
They still
Reddish,
got Hunter.
DeAndre Hunter, and then you got Bogdanovich and Gallinari. So it's just kind of like a logjam of young versus experienced players. It should be interesting. How do you think they're going to, I guess, coordinate that offense?
Yeah, like that's a good point. I think they, you said they might have done a lot, but I mean, for a team like that, I think, or organization like that, I think you have to make just moves. I think you have to do something and just see how it goes. Like, I think they're trying to win now, I think, in my opinion. And so I think they made the right pieces for sure in the East. I mean, I think that team's a playoff team. I don't know. I think they just have to just see as the season go on. I mean, like, as a guy, as an owner, or like as a GM, I think you can't pass up on a guy like Gallinari. When you can get him, that can help your franchise, and to add him with Trae Young, and I think that into John Collins, I think that was like a no-brainer if I was the GM. And then you have to see how Hunter plays and Bogdanovich plays, and just see where it goes from there, and just try to adjust on the fly. But I think you have to take those chances and do a lot to try to get to where you want to be. Instead, you're just gonna continue to not do enough and not make any progress.
Well, yeah, and too, when towards the trade deadline, if they're right on that cusp, I think they have probably the best opportunity of pieces to make a big trade right at the deadline, I think.
They're paying a lot of people. They do have a lot of needs. So I will say that. I will agree on that.
Tyler, anything on the Hawks?
I can't dribble or shoot, so I wasn't saying anything. I like Rondo a lot. I think the young pieces competing with each other will make them even better. So I like it. I think you guys nailed it. Let's see what the guy who can dribble and shoot. What's your last pick, Jamie?
Man,
Right, he's got one. Right?
Yes.
I have one pick left. Don't take it personal, man. I said like if you could shoot at a high level like Kevin, man, you would be Kevin. But I guess that's everyone, right? If everyone can shoot like him. But my last and final pick, I have to go with Denver, just because we're on a topic of doing nothing. I don't know if they made any moves. I think they let pieces walk. I don't think they got any better. I don't think they added any players. I know they signed Monte to an extension, which is really good. I think he's a hell of a backup point guard, and if you can have that in your organization, that's like an A+. But I love, like, that's my favorite 2K team. Like, that's the team I play with. Like, I love that team, the way they play, the pieces that they have with Jokic, Jamal Murray, Gary Harris, like when they had Grant, Will Barton, and like Michael Porter Jr. I mean, they just have so many pieces to like see what they do with Bobo. So I really, really like that team a lot, and I'm just interested to see. I don't think they got any better, but maybe they didn't. I don't know. Maybe they didn't need to. Maybe they believe in that team that they have, and maybe they think they're just right there. So,
yeah, Tyler and I talked about this a little bit, and they let Torrey Craig go, Plumlee and Grant, which is essentially all your wing defenders except for Millsap, which they did re-sign. But I kind of think that the Nuggets are just buying their time a little bit. They made some moves and ended up getting 2 rookies in the 20s this year, and with Bol and Michael Porter Jr. So, developing still, and Jokic
right.
and Murray are under 25. Like, I think they might just, take a year and develop all those players. And I still think they're going to be a playoff team, but
100%, yeah.
Yeah, I think they understand where they're at, and they're just taking their time.
Yeah.
Do you play 2K with the new updated Nuggets?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I've been playing, man, and that Nuggets team is tough.
Is Bol as deceivingly good in that game as he is for me, because I end up putting him in that starting 5.
He's really good, bro. He's really good in that game. I wish they would use him more in real life, but
yeah, I think they're kind of holding him out because I've heard in the practices he's been like doing really good. So I wonder if they're just like getting him in shape to play and stuff like that.
I mean, remember he had that really good was it preseason or summer league, or I think it might have been like last year.
And then in the first game in the bubble or whatever, he scored like 16 points in 10 minutes or something like that.
Yeah. So he obviously has the ability. So I'm ready for him to kind of
he's Rookie of the Year eligible this year, so he could be a dark horse.
But I mean, they just have so many players over there, man. That's kind of.
We're gonna need to get a Coulter versus Jamie 2K game. And we're gonna need to stream it for the fans.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's stream it. Let's stream it.
Oh yeah, that would be fun to get embarrassed by. But
I'll narrate it. All right, I'll narrate it.
You'll commentate.
Talk, yeah.
Yeah, that'll be fun. We gotta do that too.
All right, I'll take my last pick. I don't think Coulter's gonna take him, and I think we need to mention them. The Lakers. I think they are interesting, even though they just won it. I think they could be the best team of all time. I'm going to say it. They've got a long way to go, but I think their off-season moves
best team of all time.
Of all time. I'm putting them with the Warriors, and I'm putting them with the Bulls, and I'm putting them with any Celtics teams or Lakers team from the past. Let me make my case.
Why this Lakers team?
I like this Lakers team a lot more than last year. I liked last year's team a lot. I picked the Lakers last year. I'm picking the Lakers this year. LeBron and AD are still going to be at their peak. I I hate the LeBron fall off, but I think he will decline just a little bit. He wasn't the same LeBron that I was used to last year in the finals, even though he was amazing. He wasn't the 49-9 he was against the Warriors a couple years ago. But he's still amazing. He's still going to be their number one. I think AD is going to go to another level. He's going to be similar to what he was last year. You're going to have those two pillars, but it's more about their supporting cast with Schroeder, Harrell, Marc Gasol. You add those players together. If you get some cohesion, you've got Kuzma, you've got Horton Tucker. They're a scary team. I'm going to miss Rondo. I'm a huge Rondo supporter, but Schroeder's going to make that up and more.
Caruso.
This could be the best team of all time.
Caruso.
I'm worried about the regular season. They might not – if they get to the 60 wins in a 72-game season, I think that would be amazing, a 60-12. I think that's within their realm. I like bold takes. And I think the West has 8 good teams, and I think you got the Lakers way above everybody else. LeBron might take off the regular season, or he might not be as interested, but they might not even need him to win a lot of games. So we'll see. We'll see, but that's my bold take.
They definitely got better, I think, in the offseason than they were last year, which is scary for a defending champion team to do. So
4-1
in the finals.
I picked them last year to win it all, and they won it. Obviously, I think the Lakers is my favorite organization of all time. Just being a huge Kobe guy. Obviously I have a lot of admiration for that organization. Of all time, though, I don't know if they're going to be the best team of all time. Like, that's really, really bold statement to make.
Might not even be best Lakers team.
Yeah, I was about to say, but they will be good. They will be good. They added Montrez. I think that's a good addition to them. They obviously added Dennis Schroeder. That's a huge pickup for them. And then obviously they have a lot of good pieces surrounding LeBron and AD. I think AD is a top 5 talent. Like, that's one of my favorite players. I think he's solidified everything that at today's game, everything that you want from a center. I think he just does it all. And so I think he's like a generational talent. And then obviously you have him with LeBron. I don't know what LeBron does this year as far as like a decline or not. Hopefully he doesn't, but he is getting up there in age. So we'll see. He done the impossible so many times that we're like, I wouldn't even put it past him, So we'll see. I wouldn't say he's going to decline or anything, but I guess we just got to figure it out. I don't think they're going to be the best team of all time, but I do obviously think that they have a legitimate, real chance of winning the championship again.
All right, am I the last pick?
You're the last pick.
Coulter, wait.
Okay.
Wait. I want a tiebreaker here. And I'm not saying they're going to be. I think I said they could be. Coulter, do you think this Lakers team could be the best team of all time?
Maybe like a top 10 team of all time. I don't know, like best team of all time.
Top 10, okay. All right. That's probably more realistic.
Yeah.
But I'm sticking with it. I love this Lakers team.
Right.
That Warriors team was pretty good, man.
That
Bulls team is really good too, man. It's tough to say.
I would have liked to see
what 01 Lakers do.
I've got the Warriors. I've got the Warriors team as the best of all time. So I think we agree on that.
Man, I don't know who. Let's talk about the Hornets. Let's talk about the Hornets. They should be pretty interesting. They got LaMelo. They got
Melo.
Hayward decided to go to Charlotte, where he's going to get paid a lot of money to be on a sub 500 team. But I watched one game of them in the preseason, and LaMelo he's fun to watch. So they have a lot of if Miles Bridges and DJ Washington can continue to improve and stuff like that, that team could sneakily get into one of those spots to sneak into the playoffs potentially. But they have a long ways to go, but they're gonna be a team I watch a lot, I think, this year.
Yeah.
I like LaMelo Ball a lot. It'll be interesting to see his development. I'm bummed to see Gordon Hayward getting a fractured finger already. That guy just has terrible luck, and I hopefully he comes back quick. I don't know what the injury timeline is.
They said he might even be able to play like.
Oh, really?
The next game, they're just gonna take it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I like him. I like Devontae Graham. Miles Bridges is looking sick. He is throwing down some dunks in the preseason, so I like him a lot too. I'm sure Jamie likes him too, Michigan State boy. No, I like the Hornets. I've got them at the 10th spot. So, good pick. Nothing like going from the Lakers to the Hornets.
Yeah, right. And with
I mean, I don't really think much of the Hornets. I know they're going to be really exciting. I mean, LaMelo, obviously, he's had a good preseason as far as like he's just really exciting. Miles Bridges. So I mean, adding Gordon Hayward, I think who's a really good three guy. It was a really good three. Hopefully, he can stay healthy. I don't see them making the playoffs, but I think that they're really exciting for sure.
Well, there's a lot of bad teams in the East, so they could potentially be in one of that 9 or 10 seed to play in for it. So.
That is true.
All right, before we go, we want it on the record. We'll come back to this at the end of the season, at the end of the playoffs, of your finals picks, Jamie. We just want the team from the West, team from the East to make it, and then who's going to win it overall.
Man, let's go.
Putting you on the spot. Putting you on the spot.
Oh, just for good headlines, let's go Suns Heat.
Suns Heat, all right.
little bias there, but I think Suns Heat. Let's go. Let's get it.
He's just hoping that the greatest team of all time gets some injuries and has some chemistry issues.
Yeah, but you gotta put it together. You gotta put it all together, man. You never know. You can have the best team on paper, and the season comes around, man, and 72 games, 82 games. You just don't know how people are going to play. Injuries get involved.
COVID,
all that stuff. So
yeah.
All right, Coulter, who do you have?
I'm going rematch from last year, the bubble. I'm going to say Lakers and Heat, but I think the Lakers win in 6.
Nice.
And who do you got?
I'm gonna also we're gonna make it. I'm also going to go with the Lakers, and then I'm going to go 76ers. I'm going to go Lakers in 5. Even the best team of all time is going to lose one.
Is that their only loss of the whole year, of the whole playoffs?
I know.
16-1 again?
I know. Yeah, I'll say yes. In one, maybe the best Western, in one of the best Western conferences of all time. That I might feel more certain about that than the Lakers being the best of all time. The West is deep. They're scary one day.
So you obviously think that Philly finally figures it out?
Yeah, I like him a lot. I like Doc Rivers moving pieces around. I didn't like what he did with the Clippers last year, but I really like what he's done with the 76ers this year. So, yeah, I could see a James Harden trade, and I think that would make them slightly better from Ben Simmons. Just a little bit, because I like Ben Simmons in that role. More defense, probably a little hungrier, but James Harden is still the best scorer in the NBA.
Cool,
we'll see. I'll pick them either way. I'll pick them if they get Harden or not.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good team, so.
All right. Well, that was fun, guys. And Jamie, thanks again for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, Jamie.
It was a pleasure. And
I gotta come back, man. I gotta come back. I gotta get more into it. So.
Well, there's no All-Star break or any mid-season thing, so we'll have to definitely come back for sure before the playoffs and do another one.
For sure, absolutely.
Let's put them on the 2K rocket, and then we'll pencil it in for the playoffs too. I like that.
Deal, man. Let's get it.
The embarrassment.
Let's do it.
Sweet.
All right. Cool. Well, Pizza and Picks is now on podcasts and Spotify and Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. So make sure to check us out there. And until next time.